Beloved chosen one, tonight is not just another night on the calendar of your pain. It is a divine appointment written before you ever took your first breath. Heaven has leaned close to you, and the silence around you is not emptiness. It is the hush before revelation. Everything that has weighed on your chest, every sleepless night, every moment you questioned if God had forgotten you, tonight heaven answers back. You were never unseen. Listen carefully. You are standing on sacred ground disguised as ordinary time. God has watched you cry when no one noticed. You have carried burdens that would have broken others. But the fact that you're still standing means something supernatural has been preserving you. The breaking did not destroy you because you were never meant to stay broken. The pressure was permission for transformation. You've been asking, why me? But heaven whispers back, because I chose you. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. The fire that tried to consume you was only burning away what could not enter your next season. You have been refined, not rejected. And this very night, as the stars take their posts across the heavens, a divine transaction begins. Your name has been called in the courts of heaven. Every accusation, every curse, every word spoken against your destiny is being silenced. You are not here by accident. This is divine alignment. Every delay was a rerouting toward destiny. The ache you feel right now is the signal that the old chapter is closing. Do not mistake your exhaustion for defeat. Heaven has been fighting battles you never saw. Angels have been dispatched while you were sleeping. The warfare you felt was proof of your importance. The enemy only attacks what carries promise. You have been marked since the beginning for this very moment. Close your eyes and breathe. Feel it, the weight of divine presence surrounding you. You are not hearing this message by coincidence. Heaven has paused everything around you because your spirit has reached the moment of release. There is no more running. No more pretending to be fine while breaking inside. God says, it ends tonight. You have carried pain like armor, thinking it protected you. But tonight, heaven commands lay it down. You no longer need to fight with your wounds exposed. You are about to rise in peace that the world cannot give and darkness cannot steal. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 8. We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair. Yes, you've been walking through valleys. You've faced shadows that tried to swallow your light. But those valleys were never graves, they were gateways. The same God who carried Paul through persecution carries you through this pain. You are pressed, yes, but not destroyed. You are perplexed, yes, but not abandoned. The pressure you feel is not to break you, but to birth what was hidden within you. So lift your head. Heaven says you will not drown in this storm. You will not end in this pain. The same God who watched over you in silence is now speaking through the stillness. You are being rewritten, realigned, restored. The darkness you've been living through is not proof that you're forgotten. It's proof that you are valuable. Diamonds form in pressure. Gold is purified in fire, and anointing is born in crushing. The tears that fell from your eyes were watering the soil of your next harvest. Every tear had purpose, every moment had meaning. Look at your life, chosen one. Can you sense the shift? It's subtle, but it's holy. The weight on your chest is lifting because heaven is breathing on you again. The Spirit of God whispers, I have seen your pain, and I have marked this night to end it. This is not poetic language, this is prophetic reality. You are about to feel divine exchange, sorrow for joy, ashes for beauty, heaviness for praise. The same night that once symbolized suffering will become the night you remember as the turning point. Take a deep breath and declare, "My pain ends tonight," because it does. The prophetic door is opening, and you are standing on its threshold. Step forward. Leave behind the weight of what was. Step into the whisper of what is to come. If you are still here, reading this line, it means heaven has singled you out. God has interrupted your scrolling, your doubts, your despair to remind you you were never forsaken. The very fact that you are breathing right now means your story isn't over. It's about to begin again. Before this night ends, do something symbolic. Seal what heaven is doing with your action. Like, share, and subscribe not just to a channel, but to your destiny. Declare publicly that you are done with defeat, that you are stepping into your calling. Let the world know the chosen one has awakened. And as you do, comment this number below as a prophetic act 777, the number of divine completion. It declares that what was broken is made whole, that what was delayed is now released, and that what began tonight will echo through eternity. Your pain ends here. Your purpose begins now. Heaven is watching. Chosen one. There is a moment in every divine journey when the breaking point collides with breakthrough. You have reached that moment. The crushing, the confusion, the ache that has haunted you, none of it was wasted. Heaven does not waste pain. It repurposes it. Every sleepless night became the soil of revelation. Every disappointment has been a doorway disguised as denial. And tonight, in the unseen realms, the pressure begins to make sense. You see, what you called delay, heaven called development. What you called rejection, heaven called redirection. Every time life felt like it was falling apart, it was really falling into divine order. The breaking point was never designed to destroy you. It was to shatter everything that was never meant to contain you. You have been stretched, bent and bruised by seasons that others couldn't survive. You've smiled through silence, helped others while you were empty, carried faith when your heart was heavy with doubt. That kind of endurance isn't learned, it's inherited from heaven. You were created with resilience in your spiritual DNA. You are built for storms that others drown in. The pain you felt was not proof that you were forgotten. It was proof that you were being refined. The greater the calling, the deeper the crushing. The olive must be pressed to produce oil. The seed must be buried to bring forth fruit. You, chosen one, have been buried, but you are not dead. You are planted, and what is planted will rise again. Heaven has been watching the struggle of your soul, the moments you wanted to give up, the days you couldn't even pray. God was not distant in those hours. He was closest to you then, working behind curtains your eyes could not see. You have been in the holy classroom of endurance, and graduation night has come. You've wondered why it had to be this hard, why the doors you prayed for didn't open, why people walked away just when you needed them most. But if they could have stayed, they would have limited what God was about to do. You had to be isolated so revelation could find you. You had to lose certain voices to finally hear the voice of the one who called you. And now that you are here, broken yet breathing, scarred yet standing, heaven says, you are ready. You've passed the test not by perfection, but by perseverance. You didn't quit when it hurt, and that's what qualifies you for the next dimension of your purpose. The crushing didn't kill you because you were never meant to die there. The fire didn't consume you because it was never sent to destroy you, it was sent to purify you. What was meant to bury you has actually become the foundation of your becoming. Every loss has created space for glory. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. These words are not ancient poetry. They are living truth. The same God who spoke courage into trembling Israel now whispers courage into you. Be strong not because you feel it, but because His strength fills the emptiness where yours ran out. Be courageous not because the path is easy, but because your God walks beside you. You were never meant to carry this weight alone. Tonight, heaven reminds you that endurance is not a curse, it's a crown. Every scar on your heart is a seal of authority. Every tear that has fallen has baptized your purpose. You are being trusted with more because you have proven faithful in less. The breaking was heaven's way of enlarging your capacity. You cannot pour from a full cup. God had to empty you so He could refill you with new oil. And this is the turning of the tide. The same night that feels heavy is the night the heavens begin to rearrange on your behalf. There is movement in the unseen, angelic dispatches shifting things you cannot perceive yet. The closed doors you cried over will be remembered as the protection you needed. The delays you cursed will reveal themselves as divine strategy. Breathe, chosen one. You are not behind. You are precisely on time. Every moment that broke you has aligned with this very second of awakening. You were not buried, you were hidden. And now, heaven lifts the veil. The breaking point has become the birthplace of power. Hold on to this truth: the pain you endured was not to destroy your faith, but to prove it. Every storm you've walked through has built an altar inside you, a living testimony that God's grace still sustains. The winds did not win. The fire did not consume. You are still here, and that is your evidence that heaven's hand has never left you. You are standing in the in-between, the space where sorrow meets strength, where the wound meets wonder, where faith is no longer a concept but a weapon. Let the tears fall if they must, but let them fall knowing this: you are not the same person who entered the storm. You have been transformed in the fire, and what emerges now is unbreakable. The breaking point is behind you. The breakthrough has already begun. Chosen one. When everything went silent, you thought God had gone quiet too. You thought the absence of answers meant abandonment. But the truth, divine and piercing, is this: heaven's silence has been your sanctuary. The voice you've been searching for has been waiting for your heart to still long enough to hear it. This is the moment where the voice that finds you begins to speak again. It does not shout through chaos, it whispers through stillness. You are not forgotten, you are being found. Heaven has been watching you wander, not to punish, but to position you. Even in your isolation, divine hands were guiding the invisible compass of your destiny. Every unanswered prayer, every delay, every not yet was not rejection. It was redirection towards something higher, something purer, something holy. You had to lose the noise of others to recognize the frequency of the one who made you. For too long, the opinions of people drowned out the truth of your purpose. That is why the voice withdrew, so you could learn to distinguish imitation from intimacy. When heaven hides, it's not absence, it's instruction. You've been in divine training, learning how to hear in the dark. Because those who can hear in the dark will always walk with authority in the light. The silence was never empty, it was full of revelation waiting to be understood. There were nights you begged for a word, and heaven seemed still. You wondered, have I done something wrong? But no. Chosen one, you were not being punished. You were being prepared. The distance you felt was God's way of strengthening your discernment. If He spoke too soon, you would have mistaken His whisper for your own thoughts. Now you know the difference. Now you recognize the tone of truth. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Let those words sink deep into your soul. You were never drifting aimlessly. You were being led. You were never lost. You were being located. Every closed door was God's hand turning you toward the right one. You may not have seen his fingerprints, but you've lived under his fingerprints all along. That voice calling you now, it's not from outside, it's from within. The same breath that formed galaxies lives inside your chest. Heaven doesn't have to shout when heaven lives inside you. The voice of God is not always thunder, it's sometimes a gentle pulse reminding you, you are mine. This is why you had to walk alone. This is why relationships faded and distractions collapsed. Heaven was pulling you away from everything that could distort the sound of your calling. Every goodbye you mourned was God saying, you cannot bring them where you're going. The new season requires a new silence, a silence that listens instead of questions. You see, chosen one. When the divine voice finds you, it doesn't just comfort, it commissions. You are being called out of survival into assignment. The time for hiding has ended. Heaven's whisper carries an instruction. It's time to rise, to speak, to become the sound others will one day hear when they're lost like you once were. Let your heart tremble a little, that's what divine recognition feels like. You are hearing again, not with your ears, but with your spirit. You are remembering who you are and whose you are. This moment is sacred because clarity is returning. The fog is lifting. You are stepping out of confusion into conviction. The voice that finds you tonight is the same one that spoke light into chaos. And that same power now speaks to you. Let there be light. Light in your heart. Light in your understanding. Light in your next step. Every shadow that followed you loses its grip when you respond. But now, heaven gives you a prophetic act. As you read these words, don't let them pass without acknowledgement. Type this in the comments as a declaration of hearing and surrender. I hear you. Yes, those 3 words hold power. They are not for algorithms or attention, they are for alignment. When you type, I hear you, you are telling heaven that the silence has done its work. That you no longer resist the call. That you are done running from the sound of destiny. It's not about public display, it's about prophetic declaration. You are affirming that your ears and heart are open to instruction again. And when you do, something begins to shift. The frequency of confusion begins to dissolve. You start to feel clarity pulse where chaos once lived. That is the evidence that the voice has found you. Let this moment settle over you like holy rain. You don't need to force anything. Just breathe and listen. You are not waiting for God to speak, He already is. You're simply learning how to listen again. So rest in this. The silence was never punishment, it was preparation. The distance was never rejection, it was divine direction. And the voice that has found you tonight is not calling you backward, but forward. The one who spoke to prophets, who calmed storms, who raised the dead now speaks to you. And the only response heaven waits for is this: I hear you, chosen one. There are moments in life when pain becomes so deep that words fail. When the wounds are not visible on the skin but carved into the soul. You've carried invisible battles while smiling on the outside. You've mastered the art of saying I'm fine while bleeding within. But tonight, heaven pulls back the veil to show you something powerful. Your pain was not pointless. It was prophetic. Every trial you endured carried a message from eternity. Every heartbreak was a holy classroom. You see, the same hands that allowed your breaking were the ones shaping your purpose through it. God never wastes wounds. He turns every scar into scripture written upon the tablets of your life. You once asked, "Why must I suffer?" Heaven answers, "Because you were chosen to speak from the place others hide. Your testimony will become a map for those who lose their way. Your tears will translate into healing for souls who have never been understood. The very thing that broke you is being transformed into the thing that will bless others. There is a divine paradox at work within you. The wound that once represented loss is becoming the well from which wisdom will flow. The nights you spent asking God to remove your pain were actually nights He was pouring anointing into it. The crushing was an initiation proof that your calling carries weight in heaven. Look closely at your scars. Chosen one. They are not evidence of weakness, they are evidence of survival. Every mark tells a story of a battle won, of faith tested but unbroken. What you thought was the end of you was the birthplace of your ministry, your authority, your divine voice. You were not being punished, you were being equipped. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 3, verse 19. The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He enables me to tread on the heights. Yes, you stumbled. Yes, you cried. But through it all, the Lord was strengthening your footing, teaching you how to climb higher even when the terrain was cruel. What was meant to trip you up became the very training ground that taught you balance in the storm. Every mountain you faced has prepared you for the summit that now stands before you. Heaven looks at your pain differently than the world does. Where others see defeat, God sees depth. Where others see weakness, He sees willingness. You didn't give up when it hurt most. And that endurance has written your name into the pages of heaven's story. The pain that was supposed to silence you has instead sharpened your prophetic edge. This is why your journey has been so unique. You were never meant to fit in with the ordinary. You were designed to carry extraordinary revelation. That is why betrayal came early. It cut off your dependency on people so that you could depend solely on God. That is why rejection hit hard. It emptied your heart of counterfeit validation, making room for divine approval. You may not realize it yet, but heaven has been archiving every tear. Not one has been wasted. Every sob has been recorded in the archives of eternity, each one carrying weight in the spirit. And now, the season of hidden pain is turning into a season of public purpose. The voices that mocked you will one day marvel at what God does through you. The people who doubted your endurance will soon witness your elevation. You will speak, and others will find healing. You will stand, and others will find courage. You will weep no longer over what was lost, because what is coming will outweigh it all. Your pain has become a prophecy because it has rewritten the way you see everything. You no longer fear storms. You understand their language. You no longer dread isolation. You know it's where God reveals His plans. You no longer curse the breaking. You honor it as the birthplace of strength. Heaven declares tonight your wounds are sacred scrolls. They are testimonies written in blood and tears that carry divine revelation. You were never just surviving, you were documenting miracles in progress. So walk boldly, chosen one. Wear your scars like medals. Let your story speak louder than your suffering. For everything that was meant to harm you has now been turned into holy fire within you. You are no longer defined by what happened to you, you are defined by what rose from it. Your pain has become prophecy. And prophecy never returns empty, it always fulfills its purpose. Chosen one, there comes a moment when heaven stops whispering and begins to roar a sacred call to awaken the light within you. That moment is now. You have walked through fire, through silence, through loss, and through loneliness. But this night, the voice of the Spirit rises like a dawn after endless dusk, saying, "It is time." You have carried the seed of destiny long enough. The shell has cracked. The soil of your suffering has been watered by tears. And now, the first shoots of divine purpose begin to break through the ground. Can you feel it? The trembling within you is not fear, it is resurrection. Heaven has declared that you will rise, not just for yourself, but as a beacon for others still trapped in their night. But hear this. Chosen one awakening requires response. Light must be nurtured, purpose must be protected, and fire must be fed. You cannot walk into your calling half asleep. Heaven is calling for your full attention, your full heart, your full yes. Your life has been a long conversation between you and God. But now He is asking you to speak back, to answer your calling with action. The divine summons isn't a sound you hear with your ears, it's a vibration you feel in your spirit. It is the sudden realization that everything you've endured has been leading here. You've been like a candle hidden beneath a basket, flickering in the dark, afraid the wind would blow you out. But heaven says, no more hiding. The world needs your flame. The lost need your warmth. The wounded need your light. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Romans, chapter 13, verse 11. The hour has already come for you to wake up from your slumber, because our salvation is nearer now than when we first believed. These words strike the soul like thunder across a sleeping valley. Wake up, beloved. This is not the time for hesitation or half-hearted devotion. You are not meant to live in shadows when heaven has designed you for sunrise. As you rise, remember this: every light needs oil, every fire needs fuel. What fuels your calling is your willingness to give, to pour out, to invest in what awakens souls, including your own. When you support the vessels that carry light, when you share, when you give, when you sow, you are not just helping a voice online. You are fanning the flame of your own destiny. Think of it this way: when you share these words, it's like striking flint to spark another candle. When you subscribe, you plant your roots deeper into a well of prophetic flow, allowing divine reminders to reach you just when you need them. And when you donate, you are not losing. It's like watering a seed that will one day become a tree of blessing in your own life. Giving is not subtraction. It's multiplication in motion, like a farmer scattering seeds into fertile soil. Your generosity has ripple effects far beyond your sight. Somewhere, someone will feel less alone because of your act of light. Somewhere, a weary heart will breathe again because you decided to pass the torch forward. You have always been a giver of love, of time, of empathy. Tonight, heaven simply asks you to keep doing what you already do, to give from a place of gratitude, not obligation. Every like, every share, every kind word you release is another beam of light cutting through the darkness. Each act of support tells heaven, I am awake. I am invested in the move of God on this earth. Do not underestimate what small gestures can do in the spirit. A share may seem simple, but it can travel across borders and awaken someone you'll never meet. A comment can echo as encouragement for a soul on the verge of quitting. A donation can help sustain the very stream of light that has been sustaining you. It's a divine circle. What you pour out returns multiplied. So as this message stirs your heart, let it also move your hands. Participate in what heaven is building through you. This is not manipulation, it is partnership. You are aligning your earthly actions with eternal impact. You are saying, I will not only receive the light, I will help carry it. Remember, destiny is not a spectator event. It's a dance between faith and action, hearing and doing, receiving and giving. You've heard the call. Now respond as one fully awake. Like, share, subscribe, and if you feel led, give not out of pressure, but out of purpose. Because when you support light, you become part of its miracle. Rise, chosen one. Your awakening is no longer a whisper, it is a wildfire. Chosen one, the night has deepened, and heaven leans even closer. This is not the darkness of despair, it is the darkness before dawn. You can feel it, can't you? something sacred shifting in the unseen, a stirring within your chest that feels like an invisible door unlocking. That door is not around you, it's inside you. The key has always been your surrender. You are standing at the edge of a covenant moment. The old has run its course. The pain, the cycles, the endless repetition of heartbreak and disappointment, it all ends here. Heaven is inviting you into something new, a holy exchange. You give God your ashes, He gives you beauty. You lay down your sorrow, He places joy in your hands. You surrender your fear, He anoints you with faith. But every covenant requires participation. It is not magic, it is agreement. You are not just hearing these words, you are being summoned by them. Heaven is waiting for your yes. Your willingness to close the chapter of what was and step into the unknown of what will be. Do not be afraid of the unknown, for it is the language of faith. Every great story begins in mystery. Abraham left everything familiar. Moses walked into deserts. Esther stepped into danger. Yet all of them had one thing in common. They said yes when God called. And tonight, He calls you. You have carried burdens that were never yours to bear. You've been loyal to pain that no longer belongs in your story. The Holy Spirit whispers, release it. Not because He wants to take something from you, but because He wants to replace it with something greater. You've prayed for change, but change often begins in your willingness to let go. It's time to release the grudges, the regrets, the what-ifs, and the memories that replay like broken records. Heaven cannot fill hands that refuse to open. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Rest, that's what heaven is offering you tonight. Not the kind that merely quiets your body, but the kind that restores your soul. You have been restless because you've been resisting. Peace is found not in control, but in surrender. You do not have to fix everything, prove everything, or hold everything together anymore. You only need to yield. This is your midnight covenant. Heaven is drawing a circle around your life, marking you for a new beginning. Angels are standing by as witnesses. The old chains are being unfastened, not by force, but by your choice to believe that you are no longer bound. Take a moment and breathe. Let the weight of old seasons fall off your shoulders. The mistakes, the guilt, the shame, they no longer define you. What defines you now is obedience. You are not a prisoner of your past. You are a partner in God's promise. This moment is sacred because it's personal. Heaven isn't speaking to the crowd, it's speaking to you. The Spirit is hovering, waiting for your response, because faith always requires an action. In this prophetic hour, as your spirit says yes, heaven seals it with divine confirmation. And to symbolize your agreement with this holy covenant, type this number in the comments on monitor 44. 4, the number of stability, foundation, and divine order. When you declare 444, you are saying, God, I welcome your order into my chaos. I align my life with your rhythm. You are building something new on the ruins of the old. You are standing at the intersection of ending and beginning. As you write it, feel it, heaven recording your act of faith. This is not superstition, it's symbolism. Every prophetic act in Scripture carried meaning. Noah built an ark before the rain. Joshua marched before the walls fell. Elijah poured water before fire descended. You are typing a number, yes, but in the Spirit, you are building an altar of agreement. Let this be your declaration. I release, I receive, I rest. The covenant is sealed not by your perfection, but by your permission. Your permission for heaven to move freely within you. What you let go of tonight will never have power over you again. Step forward. Chosen one. The prophetic door opens wider with every breath of surrender. Heaven is writing a new chapter in the ink of your yes. Type 444 and step into rest, redemption, and restoration. Chosen one, when the shaking begins, most hearts panic. But not yours, not anymore. You've come too far, endured too much, and seen too many divine reversals to mistake shaking for destruction. What you're feeling right now, this trembling in your circumstances, this unrest in your spirit, it's not punishment. It's proof that heaven is rearranging everything around you. The shaking is not chaos, and it's construction. God is not tearing your life apart. He's rebuilding it from the foundation up. He's removing what can't stay, shifting what no longer serves your destiny, and securing what will carry you into the next season. At first, it feels violent. Everything you once relied on begins to tremble: relationships, finances, emotions, plans. It's like the ground itself is moving beneath your feet. But heaven whispers, "Don't fear the quake. I am the one shaking it." Because before every resurrection, there is always a rumbling. Before every breakthrough, there is a breaking. You must understand, God shakes only what He intends to strengthen. He removes only what was secretly weakening you. The foundation of your old season can no longer hold the weight of your new calling. You prayed for elevation, but elevation requires excavation. Before He builds up, He digs deep. This shaking exposes the things you didn't know were unstable. It reveals the false comforts, the counterfeit dependencies, the misplaced loyalties. Heaven will not allow what is fragile to remain hidden beneath your feet. He loves you too much to let you stand on anything less than truth. Remember when you thought certain people were permanent? When you believed some places would always feel like home? The shaking revealed otherwise. It showed you that not every attachment was divine. Some connections were seasonal. Scaffolding meant only to help build the real structure of your faith. And when the structure was complete, the scaffolding had to go. The prophet Haggai once wrote that God would shake the heavens and the earth, not to destroy, but to reveal what is unshakable. That is exactly what's happening within you. Everything false is falling away so that everything true can finally stand firm. You may feel disoriented, like the old rhythms of your life no longer make sense. That's because heaven has changed your time zone. You're no longer living according to human calendars. You've stepped into divine timing. What used to work for you won't work now because your calling has matured. You cannot fit back into the patterns God has outgrown in you. There's a sound to this shaking, a holy vibration that rattles not just your world, but the world of darkness. The enemy trembles when he sees you refuse to fear. He knows that if you can stay steady during the shaking, you'll step into power he cannot touch. The ancient words recorded in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 27. Declare the words once more, indicate the removing of what can be shaken, that is, created things, so that what cannot be shaken may remain. Do you feel that? Chosen one. The shaking is revealing what cannot be shaken within you. Your faith is surviving what your flesh feared. Your peace is holding when logic collapses. Your spirit, once fragile, now stands unbreakable. You have become what the verse describes: the remnant that remains. What is falling apart isn't you. It's the illusion that held you captive. The idols of control, the comfort of predictability, the illusion of certainty, all of it is being dismantled so that your trust can finally rest in something eternal. The ground beneath you might move, but the God within you never will. And as the dust begins to settle, you'll notice something new: clarity. The shaking didn't just remove what was weak, it revealed what was strong. You'll begin to see the relationships that are rooted in truth, the dreams that are still alive, the paths that remain steady. You'll realize that what's left standing after the storm is what was always meant to last. So don't resist this divine disruption. Don't pray for the shaking to stop, pray for the strength to stay standing through it. Because when it ends, you'll find yourself surrounded only by what is pure, lasting, and divinely aligned. The shaking is heaven's signature. It means the master builder is at work. The old structures are crumbling, yes, but the new foundation is eternal. When this is over, you will not just stand, you will soar. Be still, chosen one. Let the shaking finish its holy work. What remains afterward will be glory. Chosen one. As the shaking settles, another truth begins to unfold. The unseen battle for your light has been fierce. You have felt it in your body, your thoughts, and even your dreams. The weariness that lingers without reason, the sudden heaviness in moments of peace, the strange resistance right before your breakthrough. These were not coincidences. They were collisions in the spiritual realm. The moment you chose to walk in light, darkness marked you as a threat. But do not fear. You were never meant to hide your light under fear's shadow. You were meant to shine precisely because darkness exists. Every chosen one carries an anointing that agitates the realm of evil. Your presence alone disrupts hell's plans. You've wondered why warfare increased when you decided to grow closer to God. Why battles came not from strangers but from those you trusted. Why fatigue hit hardest when you started to pray again. It's because light exposes what darkness tries to conceal. Every act of obedience illuminates corners that demons prefer to keep hidden. Every step of faith shakes invisible chains loose. The enemy has tried to convince you that the warfare means you're losing. But the truth is, the opposite warfare confirms that you're advancing. Resistance only rises when something valuable is being protected. Hell doesn't fight the asleep, it fights the awakened. You, chosen one, are wide awake now, and that's why the attacks have intensified. You are not weak for feeling weary. Even the mightiest warriors need moments of rest. But rest is not retreat, it's reloading. Heaven has been recharging you in secret, strengthening you for the greater victories ahead. Every tear you shed became a sword forged in fire. Every night you endured silently added weight to your authority in the Spirit. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14, "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." Do you see it now? The battle was never yours to win alone. The enemy wanted you exhausted, but heaven wanted you surrendered. The greatest strength is not found in endless striving, it's found in stillness. When you finally stopped trying to fight in your own power, God began to fight through you. And when God fights for you, chosen one, no weapon can prevail. You may feel surrounded, but remember, heaven surrounds what surrounds you. The very forces that meant to drown you are now under divine command. The Red Sea that looked like your end will part again. The same God who made a path for Moses through impossible waters is making one for you. You've been in battles that left no visible scars but deep spiritual fatigue. Yet through it all, your light still burns. The darkness hasn't won because it cannot comprehend the kind of light you carry. You are not just illuminated, you are illumination itself. The anointing in you is a flame that cannot be extinguished. Sometimes, the fiercest warfare happens right before promotion. The devil fights hardest when he knows what's coming next. He senses the shift you can't yet see. That's why he tries to distract, discourage, and drain you. But tonight, heaven reminds you the enemy may attack, but he cannot alter what God has written. The power that raised Jesus from the grave lives within you. The same authority that silenced storms and healed the broken is alive in your breath, in your prayers, in your worship. You are not defenseless, you are divine weaponry in motion. Stand firm. Don't measure victory by ease. Measure it by endurance. If you're still standing, you've already won. The enemy's strategy has failed because you refused to quit. Every time you lifted your head when despair pressed down, heaven recorded another victory in your name. There will come a time when you'll look back and realize the warfare made you sharper, not weaker. It purified your motives, refined your discernment, and deepened your dependence on God. You'll thank Him for the very battles you once begged Him to remove. So tonight, chosen one, rest knowing the unseen war is already shifting in your favor. The angels assigned to you are not idle, they are active, fighting for the destiny sealed over your life. Do not fear the darkness, it fears you. Your light is divine rebellion against every shadow that tried to swallow you. Keep shining. Keep standing. Heaven is fighting, and victory has already been declared. Chosen one, there comes a moment in every divine journey when resistance no longer feels like opposition, it feels like invitation. Heaven has been pulling you closer, not through ease, but through surrender. This is that moment, the turning point where you stop trying to fix what only faith can heal. You've carried so much on your shoulders, expectations, memories, disappointments, and guilt. You've been the strong one for so long that even your strength has grown tired. But tonight, heaven whispers a new command: not fight harder, but let go. Surrender is not giving up. It's giving God permission to do what you cannot. You've been wrestling with outcomes, replaying decisions, trying to rewrite what's already written. But the Father says, "Be still and let me finish what I started." You've reached the sacred point where faith is no longer about what you understand, but about what you trust. There is peace that surpasses logic, but it waits on the other side of surrender. You cannot find it by striving, you find it by release. The Spirit reminds us through the writings of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. These ancient words strike the soul like morning light through storm clouds. You've leaned on your logic long enough, tried to calculate outcomes, forced answers, controlled timing. But true peace comes when you let go of the need to know and rest in the one who already knows. Look at your journey. You didn't come this far by chance. Every detour had divine design. Every loss redirected you toward the path that led here, this quiet, holy space where surrender is no longer weakness but worship. The turning point doesn't happen when your situation changes, it happens when your spirit does. When you finally say, "I trust you, even without answers." That's when heaven moves. You've been afraid of letting go because you thought it meant losing control. But what if it means gaining peace? What if the outcome you've been worrying about has already been settled in heaven? What if all that's left is for you to align your heart with what God already declared finished? Chosen one, release the urge to understand everything. There's freedom in admitting you don't have to. Faith doesn't need full clarity, it needs full trust. You've been analyzing where you should have been adoring. You've been strategizing when you were supposed to be surrendering. It's time to return to simplicity, to a faith that breathes instead of fights. Heaven is not impressed by control, it's moved by trust. When you stop trying to carry the weight, God carries you. When you stop striving, peace begins to sing again inside your chest. The storms didn't come to destroy you. They came to train you to rest even when the boat rocks. You are not perishing. You are passing over. And the same Jesus who calmed the storm then is calming your heart now. This is your turning point. The moment you stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "Use me." The moment pain becomes purpose. The moment faith becomes peace. Take a breath. The air around you feels lighter because something unseen is shifting. Heaven honors humility. The moment you release control, you open a portal for divine power to flow freely. The fire that once burned now refines. The river that once threatened now cleanses. The wind that once shook you now carries you forward. Everything that once worked against you has been repurposed to work for you. And now, heaven asks for your response. This is not a ritual, it's a reminder. Type this in the comments as a declaration of surrender. I trust you. It's more than 3 words, it's the unlocking of peace. When you write them, you're not speaking to me, you're speaking to the one who's been waiting for your yes. You're saying, I'm done wrestling, I'm ready to rest. I choose faith over fear. Every time you speak those words, heaven records it as covenant. The turning point becomes sealed not in emotion, but in declaration. So let go. Chosen one. The rivers will not drown you, and the fire will not consume you. The God who began your story will not abandon it halfway. Surrender doesn't end your fight, it ends your fear. You have not lost control. You've simply handed it back to the one who never fails. And that right there is your turning point. Chosen one. There is a sacred moment when heaven begins to rewrite the story of your life, not by erasing what happened, but by redeeming it. You are standing in that moment now. The author of your existence has picked up his pen again, and every line that once carried pain is being rewritten with purpose. The rejection that once scarred you will soon read like redirection. The betrayals that once silenced you will become chapters of boldness. What you thought was your ending is about to reveal itself as your divine beginning. Heaven is not finished with you, it's editing your story into glory. You see, every divine story has revisions. God never discards his manuscript, he refines it. Every detour was a comma, not a period. Every delay was divine punctuation, a pause before revelation. You may have seen failure, but heaven saw formation. You may have seen chaos, but God saw a canvas. According to what is revealed in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. This verse is the ink with which God is rewriting your life. Even the broken chapters are being folded into a masterpiece. The pain that once paralyzed you is being transformed into the very foundation of your testimony. Nothing has been wasted, not the heartbreak, not the mistakes, not the moments you thought disqualified you. Heaven has woven them into something eternal. Chosen one, imagine your story as a tapestry woven in heaven's light. From the ground, all you saw were tangled threads and knots. But from above, heaven sees symmetry, beauty, and divine order. The same thread that looked out of place up close is what gives shape to the masterpiece from afar. Your story matters. It's more than pain, it's prophecy. When people hear how you made it through, it won't just inspire them, it will activate something in them. Your words will become bridges for others to cross their broken places. But here's the truth, stories like yours deserve to be shared. Light cannot fulfill its purpose by staying hidden under a basket. When you share what God has done, you multiply the miracle. When you give voice to your testimony, you become a living lighthouse for those still lost at sea. So let your story shine. Share this message not because it's just words, but because it might be someone's lifeline. You never know whose midnight this light will reach. Every like you give is like placing a candle on the altar of hope. Every share is like throwing a rope into the deep, pulling another soul out of despair. When you subscribe, you are not just following a voice, you are anchoring yourself to a stream of divine encouragement, a reminder that heaven still speaks through human hearts. And if you feel moved to donate, Do it as a sacred offering, not out of obligation but gratitude. Think of it as watering a well that has quenched your spirit. Your giving becomes the oil that keeps the flame alive, the resource that allows light to travel further. When you pour into something that has poured into you, you create a cycle of grace. Picture a lamp glowing in a vast desert. Its light guides weary travelers to safety. When you give, you're not just fueling the lamp, you're ensuring that no one wanders in darkness without direction. What leaves your hand doesn't leave your life. It returns multiplied, carrying the fragrance of blessing. Heaven keeps record of what you release in love. The seed you sow in light will bloom in seasons you least expect. There is no loss in generosity, only transformation. You are not funding a person. You are fueling a purpose. So, chosen one, as God rewrites your story tonight, participate in the miracle. Let your hands echo your heart. Support, share, sow, shine. Every gesture you make becomes part of your divine narrative, a visible yes to the author's call. And remember, stories that glorify God never fade. They ripple through eternity. You are one of those stories. Let the world read it. Let heaven record it. Like, share, subscribe, and if your heart feels led, donate, not for applause, but as an act of worship, because your story deserves to keep shining. Your next chapter begins with a single act of faith. Pick up the pen with heaven and write, chosen one. As dawn begins to stretch its fingers across the horizon of your soul, something powerful is awakening within you, a mantle, not a physical robe, but a spiritual weight of authority, dignity, and divine strength. It is the invisible garment that marks those who have walked through the fire and did not burn, who have wrestled with darkness and refused to let go of light. You have been prepared for this mantle through the trials that once made you question your worth. Every heartbreak was a fitting, every tear an anointing, every loss a lesson in endurance. You are no longer who you were. The timid faith that trembled in fear has matured into unshakable trust. Heaven now calls you not just survivor, but soldier. When the world looked at you, it saw brokenness. Heaven saw a blueprint. Every scar became a signature from God, evidence that you were molded, not marred. You were refined in obscurity, like a sword being sharpened in secret. No one saw the process, but they will see the power. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 3. To bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. This is what has happened to you. You've traded your ashes for beauty, not metaphorically but spiritually. What once smelled of loss now carries the fragrance of victory. The oil of joy that drips from your life is not shallow happiness. It's the deep gladness that comes from knowing you've been chosen, preserved, and commissioned. The garment of praise rests upon you now, and it's heavier than you expected. Not heavy like burden, but heavy like glory. It is the weight of purpose, the weight of divine trust. God has placed something eternal upon your shoulders because He knows you will carry it with humility. You see, mantles are never given cheaply. They are bestowed upon those who have proven faithful in the shadows. You didn't chase this calling. It found you while you were still tending the fields of your pain. Heaven watched how you responded when no one applauded. You kept walking, kept believing, kept forgiving, and that persistence became your qualification. This mantle is not for display. It is for duty. It is the authority to bring light into darkness, healing into hurt, and truth into confusion. Wherever you step now, atmosphere shifts. You are a carrier of divine stability in an unstable world. When you speak, the trembling hearts of others will steady. When you walk into a room, unseen heaviness will lift. But know this: chosen one, the mantle also carries responsibility. Power without purity becomes poison. You are not called to dominate, but to deliver, not to impress, but to intercede. The authority you carry must always flow through compassion. This mantle doesn't make you better than others, it makes you more accountable. It requires discipline, prayer, and discernment. You will find yourself withdrawing more often, not because you are lonely, but because heaven requires your focus. Isolation is no longer punishment, it's preparation for deeper revelation. You may begin to notice your sensitivity increasing. You'll feel what others ignore, hear what others dismiss. Don't see it as a burden, see it as a gift. God trusts you to sense what heaven senses. You'll cry for things you can't explain because your spirit is interceding for what your mind doesn't yet understand. And yes, the mantle will make you misunderstood. People will question your change, your silence, your new level of peace. Some will misinterpret your humility as distance, but pay them no mind. When God elevates you, He also separates you, not for pride, but for purity. You are now walking in what the ancients called glory weight, a tangible awareness of divine partnership. Angels recognize it. Darkness resents it. Heaven celebrates it. The authority you now carry is not from striving, but from surviving. Every scar has turned into a seal, every valley into validation. You have proven that endurance is greater than talent, and obedience stronger than emotion. Chosen one, you are now clothed in resilience. This is the mantle of those who cannot be broken because they have already been remade. Walk in it not with arrogance, but with awe. For the same fire that once tried to consume you now burns within you as light. And this light will not fade, because it was lit by the breath of God Himself. Chosen one, the air around you is changing again. The shaking has settled. The mantle rests upon you, and now heaven begins to unlock what was once sealed. This is the hour of divine openings. Prophetic doors are swinging wide in the spirit, and the sound of hinges turning echoes through your soul. What was closed to you before is opening now, not by effort, but by alignment. You've knocked, you've waited, and at times you wondered if anyone heard. But heaven's silence was not denial. It was timing. Doors are not opened by panic, but by preparation. God has been aligning events, people, and even your emotions so that when the door opened, you would be ready to walk through it with wisdom, not weariness. Every door that is meant for you is voice-activated. It opens when you speak in faith, when your words agree with heaven's promises instead of your past fears. That is why your prayers have been shifting from desperation to declaration. You are no longer begging for entry, you are walking in authority. The Spirit spoke through the Apostle John in Revelation chapter 3, verse 8. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. This is your confirmation. Heaven acknowledges the quiet strength you've carried. You didn't need crowds to affirm you. You didn't need applause to keep going. You kept your faith intact when everything else was falling apart. And now, the reward for your endurance is an open door that cannot be closed by human hands. These prophetic doors are not just opportunities, they are assignments. Each one leads to a divine intersection where destiny and obedience meet. Some will bring restoration in relationships, others breakthrough in calling, and some will open into rooms you never imagined you'd enter. But remember this, not every door that opens is from God, and not every delay is from the enemy. That is why discernment is your key. The door you walk through must echo peace in your spirit. Heaven never rushes, it releases. When a door is truly divine, it doesn't demand panic, it invites presence. You will know it's the right door when stepping through it brings clarity, not confusion, expansion, not exhaustion. Divine doors never drain, they deliver. You won't have to force what flows from grace. Look around your life. Notice the subtle signs, opportunities that keep reappearing, people re-entering your path. Sudden alignment of timing. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Heaven speaks through repetition until revelation takes root. This is also the time when distractions rise. The enemy always builds counterfeit doors beside divine ones. He will offer shortcuts that promise speed but steal substance. Don't be fooled by glittering gates, they often lead to empty rooms. Wait for the one that carries peace, even if it requires patience. You have matured enough to tell the difference now. You know how divine presence feels. You can sense when something aligns with your purpose because it carries the same fragrance as your calling. Step forward, but do not rush. When you walk through this next door, everything will accelerate. Connections will form effortlessly. Provision will appear unexpectedly. What took years before will take moments now, because this is not human progress. It is prophetic fulfillment. Heaven is not just giving you access, it is giving you authority over new territories. The very areas where you once struggled will become the grounds where you minister strength to others. The same pain that taught you endurance will become the key that unlocks doors for many. This is the moment to seal your faith with a symbolic act. Not as ritual, but as recognition. Type this number in the comments, 5, the number of grace and divine favor. 5555 declares a triple portion of grace over your journey. It means open doors, multiplied mercy, and restored movement. When you write it, you are saying, I step into grace, I walk through favor, and I embrace what heaven has opened. Every time you declare 555, the spiritual atmosphere responds. Angels take note. Heaven records your alignment. You are not just witnessing the unlocking, you are participating in it. Step through boldly. Chosen one, the door is open. The time is now. Grace is the key in your hand. Chosen one, before every crown comes one final confrontation, fear. Not the kind that makes you scream, but the kind that quietly whispers. What if you fail again? It's subtle, familiar, and deceptively persuasive. Fear always returns at the threshold of breakthrough. Because it knows what happens if you walk through that door, it loses its power forever. Fear doesn't always shout. Sometimes it sounds like logic, caution, or self-doubt. It tells you to wait a little longer, to hide a little deeper, to stop dreaming so boldly. But you've outgrown those whispers. You have seen too much of God's faithfulness to let fear speak louder than His promises. The ancient words recorded in the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9, resound for you tonight. Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. This isn't a suggestion, it's a command wrapped in comfort. Heaven isn't telling you to ignore your fear, it's telling you to stand in the middle of it and move anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to obey in spite of it. Every time you take a step forward while your knees tremble, heaven records it as victory. You fought so many external battles that you may not have noticed the internal one between the voice of fear and the whisper of faith. Fear says, you failed before, you'll fail again. Faith answers, I've failed before, but I'm still standing. Fear says, you're not enough. Faith declares, He is enough in me. It's time to silence fear once and for all. You don't conquer fear by ignoring it. You conquer it by confronting it with truth. Fear thrives in shadows, but it dies in light. The moment you name it, it loses its authority. Call it out: fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough, and then remind it who you belong to. The presence of fear does not mean the absence of faith. It means your faith is about to grow stronger. Think of Peter stepping onto the water. His fear was real, but so was his faith. He didn't wait for the waves to calm. He walked in the midst of them. That is what you are being called to do. Fear will try to remind you of what went wrong last time. It will replay every mistake and magnify every flaw. But remember this: the version of you that failed back then no longer exists. You have been refined by fire, instructed by pain, and trained by grace. The person standing here now carries wisdom that fear cannot intimidate. Fear often comes dressed as memory. It tries to make you believe the past will repeat itself. But your past was a classroom, not a life sentence. You passed the test. You learned the lesson. You're ready for graduation. Let your fear become fuel. Let it drive you to deeper dependence on God. When you feel afraid, let it be a signal that you are standing in front of something worth fighting for. The enemy does not guard empty territory, he guards treasure. If fear is loud, it's because breakthrough is near. You may not feel brave, but bravery is not a feeling, it's a choice. Every time you move forward while afraid, your courage grows roots. It begins to spread into every corner of your being until fear has nowhere left to hide. The truth is, fear has always known your potential. That's why it's been relentless. It doesn't attack what's empty. It attacks what's full of promise. But you have reached the moment when fear no longer leads you due. And when you stand your ground this time, something shifts permanently. Fear will knock, but it will no longer enter. It will whisper, but it will no longer wound. Its voice will fade, replaced by peace. Chosen one. You have lived too long letting fear narrate your story. Now it's time to reclaim the pen. You don't have to wait until you feel ready, you just have to begin. Courage will meet you in motion. Walk forward. The same God who parted seas and silenced storms walks beside you now. Fear cannot follow where faith leads. Chosen one. Every story that rises to glory must first pass through the valley of closure. Before God crowns a new season, He completes the old one. This is not punishment, it's purification. Heaven never leaves doors half open. The chapter you once clung to is being sealed, not because it wasn't meaningful, but because its purpose has been fulfilled. You can feel it, can't you? The quiet ache of release, the strange peace that follows pain, the sense that something in you has finished its assignment. That is the anointing of closure, the sacred oil poured over endings so that they do not sting but sanctify. For so long you carried memories like stones in your pockets, replaying conversations, reliving disappointments, rehearsing what could have been. But God is gently emptying your hands now. You cannot walk into destiny while holding fragments of yesterday. The weight you feel is not grief, it's growth. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 30, verse 5. Weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. Those words are more than comfort, they are prophecy. Your night season has lasted long, but it was never meant to be eternal. Every tear you cried watered the soil of tomorrow's joy. Heaven never ignores pain. It repurposes it. What once felt like breaking was actually birthing. Closure is not forgetting, it's forgiving. It's the gentle decision to stop reopening old wounds. It's realizing that healing doesn't mean the past never happened. It means it no longer controls you. The people who hurt you were part of your becoming. The losses you mourned were part of your molding. The endings you resisted were the tools of your transformation. When God closes a door, He doesn't do it to trap you. He does it to free you from what no longer aligns with your future. You cannot step into resurrection while still clinging to what should remain buried. Let the dead things rest, not out of bitterness, but out of reverence for what once was and gratitude for what remains. The anointing of closure comes quietly, like the final note of a song fading into silence. It doesn't always feel dramatic. Sometimes it feels like peace where there used to be longing. That is how you know heaven has moved. You stop chasing explanations and start embracing acceptance. You've spent enough time mourning seasons that cannot return. Now heaven calls you to bless them and move forward. Thank God for the people who left. They taught you boundaries. Thank God for the battles you lost. They taught you dependence. Thank God for the doors that closed. They protected you from distractions disguised as opportunities. Forgiveness is the fragrance left behind when the fire of anger goes out. To forgive does not excuse what was done. It releases what was trapped. Every time you let go, the oil flows again. The anointing increases. The light inside you brightens. You are stepping out of bitterness into blessing. This is your exodus from emotional captivity. The Red Sea of memory is parting behind you, and the wilderness of uncertainty is turning into a garden of peace. You are being led, not by pain, but by promise. Sometimes closure looks like silence. You won't always get an apology, and that's okay. Heaven's well done is louder than any human explanation. The moment you stop waiting for someone else to make it right, God begins to make it beautiful. The oil of closure doesn't erase the past, it redeems it. It takes the fragments and fashions them into foundation. You are standing on the strength of everything that once hurt you. What broke you became what built you. Chosen one, lift your head. The page has turned, the ink has dried. You are walking out of the valley with oil on your hands and light in your eyes. The ending you feared has become the doorway to peace. Let this truth settle deep in your soul. What you have released will never be wasted. Heaven recycles every tear into testimony. Every goodbye becomes a gateway. The anointing of closure has come. Walk forward lighter, freer, and finally whole. Chosen one, the time has come. You have walked through fire and silence, through shaking and surrender, through tears and triumph, and now heaven calls you to rise. Not as the wounded, but as the witness. Not as the forgotten, but as the fulfilled. You are standing in the morning after the longest night of your soul, and the light is not just around you, it's radiating from within you. You are part of a remnant, those who refused to bow to fear, those who kept faith when faith was costly, those who carried light when everything around them screamed darkness. You are one of heaven's living proofs that God still moves through ordinary people with extraordinary resilience. As the ancient words remind us in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Do you feel the weight of that? It's not pride, it's purpose. The same light that once flickered in your pain has now become a flame others will follow. Your life is not just survival, it's signal fire. You are a torchbearer for a generation that forgot hope was real. Think of yourself as a lantern carried through a storm. The rain tried to drown it. The wind tried to extinguish it, but somehow it kept burning. That flame that's your faith. And now, heaven says, lift it high. Let the world see that faith still stands, that goodness still wins, that love still reigns. You've come to this point not by coincidence, but by covenant. Every step, every struggle, every scar has been preparation. And now heaven is saying, shine. But remember, light spreads best when it's shared, just as one candle ignites another without losing its own fire. So does your story ignite others when you share it. Every time you pass this message forward, you become part of heaven's ripple effect. The flame doesn't weaken, it multiplies. So share your light. If these words have stirred something deep in you, don't keep them hidden. Share this message so that someone scrolling through their midnight might find their sunrise. You never know whose breaking point could become breakthrough because you decided to pass the light on. And yes, comment and subscribe, but don't do it out of routine, do it as a prophetic act. Every click becomes a spark that sends light a little further, reaching places even your voice cannot go. You're not just pressing buttons, you're pressing heaven's message into motion. Leave a comment below your thoughts, your reflection, or even just a word that resonates with your journey. Your comment might be the confirmation someone else prayed for. It could be the thread that ties one wounded heart to another, reminding them they are not alone in the fight. When you subscribe, you're not joining a list, you're joining a lineage. A lineage of light carriers, of chosen ones who believe that hope still heals and truth still transforms. You're anchoring yourself in a community where heaven keeps speaking and the fire never goes out. And if your heart feels led to give, to sow into the flow of these messages, let it be from a place of gratitude, not guilt. Imagine your donation as pouring oil into a lamp, the lamp that continues to burn through nights for countless others. You are helping light travel farther than you could ever imagine. Every act of generosity becomes part of your story, your legacy. Think of a river, it doesn't stop to hoard its waters, and it flows, and everything it touches comes alive. That's what your giving does, it brings life. It tells heaven, I am not just a receiver of light, I am a releaser of it. And in doing so, you fulfill the greatest command to love beyond yourself, because light is love in motion. You chosen one are the living embodiment of resilience turned revelation. You've survived enough storms to understand their language. You've danced with despair and come out carrying joy. You've lost, yet somehow gained everything that truly mattered. And now, your light is not small, it's sacred. So share, subscribe, and if you feel led, donate not for numbers, but for names. Every name that finds peace, every soul that finds purpose, every heart that finds hope through your act of sharing becomes part of your heavenly reward. Lift your lantern high. The world is darker than ever, but so are the stars brighter than before. Let them see the fire that hell couldn't quench. You are the light of the world, and your glow has just begun. Chosen one, the promise is unfolding. What once seemed distant now draws near, like dawn after years of night. The air around you hums with expectancy, divine timing has finally aligned. You may not have noticed it at first, but heaven has already begun to move the pieces of your life into perfect order. This is the fulfillment of everything that was spoken in the secret hours when you almost gave up. You have entered the season of divine completion. The waiting has not been wasted. Every delay was a detail, every disappointment was a doorway disguised as denial. What you thought was stillness was strategy. God was never inactive. He was arranging, refining, preparing you for what eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. Chosen one, you are standing in the rhythm of acceleration. What once took years will now unfold in moments. Heaven's pace has shifted in your favor. You can feel it in your spirit, a stirring, a sense that things are clicking into place almost effortlessly. That is not coincidence, that is divine momentum. Heaven moves with precision, not haste. And though the process was long, the promise was never late. Everything that seemed withheld is now being released in waves. Blessings are chasing the faithful. Opportunities are finding those who stayed ready. You are one of them. The ancient words in the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 13, resound in this moment. The days are coming, declares the Lord, when the reaper will be overtaken by the plowman and the planter by the one treading grapes. New wine will drip from the mountains and flow from all the hills. It's happening now. The harvest is overtaking the waiting. You are entering a season where sowing and reaping will merge, where what you planted in tears will return to you in joy. The years you thought were lost are being restored with interest. What you gave up in obedience is returning multiplied, purified, sanctified. For too long, you measured your worth by what was missing. You compared your progress to timelines that were never meant for you. But God was never delaying your destiny. He was protecting it from premature exposure. Some promises require maturity before manifestation. You had to grow into the weight of what He planned to give you. You've carried dreams that seemed impossible, but impossibility is the canvas of divine artistry. Heaven delights in the improbable because it reveals the supernatural. You are about to witness the impossible bow to obedience. What once mocked your faith will soon testify of its power. Even now, angels are aligning what was scattered. Relationships once broken are being restored, not for nostalgia but for purpose. Resources are being released, creativity is returning, strength is renewing. This is not random, it is redemption in motion. There's a rhythm to fulfillment, it sounds like peace. You'll know you're in it when striving stops and surrender starts producing fruit. You'll wake up and realize that what used to drain you now delights you. That what used to scare you now strengthens you. The chaos that once consumed you is now quiet beneath your feet. God is not just answering prayers, He's exceeding them. You asked for healing. He's giving you wholeness. You asked for provision, He's giving you abundance. You asked for direction, He's giving you dominion. This is the difference between human plans and heavenly fulfillment. One sustains, the other overflows. But remember, chosen one, with fulfillment comes faithfulness. When the blessing arrives, do not forget the blesser. When the door opens, keep your heart anchored in humility. The promise is not a reward for perfection. It is a response to persistence. You waited, and now heaven is rewarding what the world overlooked. The quiet obedience that no one applauded has built a foundation strong enough to carry what's coming next. You can be trusted now not just with miracles, but with meaning. And though the waiting tested you, it also transformed you. You have learned that fulfillment is not about possession, it's about alignment. The true reward isn't what you receive, but who you've become. You have become one who can carry blessing without breaking, one who can lead without losing humility, one who can walk in favor without forgetting the fire that forged you. This is the season where divine promises turn tangible, where prophecies become present tense. You won't need to chase after signs, they will follow you. You won't need to beg for favor, it will recognize you. The fulfillment of the promise has begun. You are living proof that delay is not denial, that endurance is never empty, and that God finishes what He starts. Chosen one, breathe. This is what answered prayer feels like. Quiet, complete, holy. Chosen one, you have reached the threshold. The air feels different here still. Sacred, almost electric. This is the moment heaven has been leading you toward all along, the unveiling, the opening, the divine crossing from what was into what will be. The prophetic door stands before you now, and it is not just a doorway in the world, it is one within your soul. Everything you've lived through has brought you to this exact place. Every tear, every prayer, every pause in the waiting was a step toward this opening. Nothing was wasted. Everything has been woven together for this unveiling. Heaven does not build randomly, it builds with eternal intent. You are stepping into the fulfillment of promises whispered to your spirit long before you understood their meaning. You can almost hear it, the sound of ancient hinges turning, the deep creak of destiny coming alive. The door that once seemed sealed shut begins to open, not because you forced it, but because you finally became ready for what's behind it. Doors don't open to the desperate, they open to the aligned. And tonight, heaven says you are aligned. This is not an ordinary doorway. It is a living threshold. When you cross it, you do not simply enter a new chapter, you become a new creation. The remnants of your former fears cannot follow you here. The wounds that once defined you lose their power in this atmosphere of renewal. Everything old begins to lose its shape in the presence of glory. The Spirit spoke through the Apostle Paul in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come, the old has gone, the new is here. Do you feel the truth in those words? It's happening inside you now. The old version of you, the one burdened by shame, by worry, by striving, is dissolving. Heaven is clothing you in newness, in radiance, in peace. You are not just being blessed. You are being reborn. Every ending you endured has prepared you for this emergence. The doors that closed behind you were never losses. They were locks protecting the purity of your future. Now those locks click open as heaven releases you into expansion. You are crossing over into wholeness, not the kind that pretends everything is perfect, but the kind that accepts every scar as sacred. You have been made complete, not because nothing broke you, but because everything that did was transformed into strength. Look around in your spirit. The landscape has changed. The wilderness you once wandered is blooming again. What was barren is bearing fruit. The very ground that seemed cursed now drips with promise. This is the beauty of divine reversal. God restores not by replacing, but by redeeming. There is peace here that surpasses language. It's the stillness that comes after storms have surrendered. You don't have to fight anymore. You don't have to prove your worth or chase validation. You have arrived at the place where grace does the heavy lifting. The prophetic door opens wide, and what you see beyond it is not just opportunity, it's overflow. You'll find relationships healed, dreams rekindled, and faith renewed in ways you couldn't imagine. You'll walk through with calm assurance, because the same God who brought you here walks beside you still. This crossing is both quiet and cosmic. Quiet because it happens in the secret chambers of the heart. Cosmic because it echoes in eternity. Heaven celebrates softly but powerfully when one of its chosen crosses from surviving to shining, from wandering to walking in purpose. Chosen one, take a deep breath and feel it, the atmosphere of completion. You have journeyed through darkness and light, through testing and triumph, through hiddenness and unveiling. And now the divine door swings open, revealing what your spirit always knew existed: peace, purpose, and presence. Do not rush through. Stand in this moment and let it wash over you. You are standing in answered prayer, walking in fulfilled prophecy, breathing in grace realized. The old has gone. The new has come. Heaven whispers one final decree over you now: it is finished, and it is begun. Chosen one. You've reached the end of this divine journey, but truly, it is not an ending. It is a beginning dressed as conclusion. Heaven has walked beside you through every word, every revelation, every whisper that echoed through these chapters. You are not leaving this space empty, you are leaving it anointed, awakened, and armed with purpose. Take a breath and look back. You have traveled from pain to peace, from silence to surrender, from waiting to walking in fulfillment. Each section was a step, each word a key unlocking something deeper within you. You are not the same person who began this journey. You have grown into your crown, but light, beloved, is never meant to stay still. What fills you must flow through you. The words that healed you tonight may heal someone else tomorrow. Don't let this be where the message stops, let it be where the fire spreads. So if this journey has spoken to your spirit, share it. Not for fame, but for faith. You never know whose midnight this message might reach. One share could become someone's lifeline. One comment could reignite another's hope. Like this message as a sign that you've received its light. Leave a comment, your reflection, your testimony, or even a single word that captures what you felt. Your words matter. They carry the same anointing that brought you here. Someone may scroll through and find healing in what you write, and subscribe, not for routine, but to stay aligned with the flow of messages that heaven continues to pour out. You are part of a growing circle of light-bearers souls who choose hope over fear, faith over doubt, and purpose over pain. Carry the flame, chosen one. Keep shining, keep sharing, and never forget your story as heaven's proof that miracles still walk among us.